Hey guys, actually good afternoon. Dexter and Tonya here.
Good afternoon.
We are the Upgraders. We're going to say good afternoon to each of you guys that are watching. We do apologize. We're actually 2 minutes late, and here's why. You know how things just come up, things just happen. The mail person came into the driveway with mail right at the start time of our Facebook Live. So, you know, you always have to adapt to things that are happening. Hey, Tammy, thank you for joining. Tammy, if you can hear us okay, can you please give us a thumbs up or say we can hear you okay? If you can do that for us. And while you do that, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys that are watching live with us now. And those of you guys that are watching with us on the replay, because we do value your time. We value everything about you. We really appreciate it. Okay, so are we good? All right, you can hear us? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So listen, we started at 1:02, so we're going to go for 10 minutes. So give us to, I think, what, 1:12?
1:12.
We're going to go 1:12. So listen, Tonya and I, we decided to do a short story series with the Upgraders. You guys know how when you were young, you used to hear stories and you were fascinated by stories. And everyone would just say, come gather around and listen, and people would read stories. And you will be so excited about it. And that's what we wanted to do as the Upgraders, to just bring you short stories, 8 days representing the number of new beginning, 8 days of power. Yes. So if this is your first time watching us on Facebook Live, drop a 1 below, just so we'll know who's connecting with us. We always love to connect with our Facebook family, whether you're new to us or been watching us. We really appreciate you. So drop a 1 below. To let us know that you're new to our lives. So let's get started with the story. Now, there was a story, Tonya and I have been talking about this. There was a story about a young couple that moved into a neighborhood. They were so excited. They moved all the furniture in. They were ready to start on a new beginning. So the very next morning, they got up and the wife fixed breakfast for her husband. Her husband sat down at the table and he was eating breakfast. And the wife just happened to look out the bay window in the kitchen, and she saw her neighbor that was next door. Her neighbor was outside hanging up clothes. You guys remember hanging up clothes? If you remember the clothesline, those of us that are older, we remember the clothesline. But if you remember the clothesline, say, hey, I remember the clothesline.
It was a part of our chores.
A part of our chores. So the wife looked out the bay window and she saw her neighbor hanging out clothes. And she said, oh, she doesn't know how to wash clothes. Those clothes are dingy. Somebody needs to teach her how to wash clothes. The husband just sat there eating breakfast. He didn't say a word. And day in and day out, as they came downstairs for breakfast, and the wife looked outside and she saw her neighbor hanging clothes, she had something to say about those dirty clothes. Always, oh my God, somebody needs to teach her how to just looks horrible. So about 30 days later, they came downstairs for breakfast as they normally do. The wife fixed breakfast. The husband was sitting down and he was eating. And the wife looked out of the bay window and there her neighbor was hanging out clothes. And she said, oh, someone must have taught her how to wash clothes. They're clean today. Wow. And the husband, he paused eating his breakfast and he looked up and he said, that's because I went outside last night and washed our windows. And so it is with life, is that often the window in which we look at other people is a reflection of who we are.
Oh God, that's so good.
It is a reflection of who we are. So that story, it sets us up for how we think. Right? What do you think, Tonya?
I love it. I just love even the way you say that. How we look at others is oftentimes a reflection of who we are, a reflection of what it is that we're going through, a reflection of what we've been through, but we're holding on to. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, for the past 2 days, I've actually even been reading a devotional. I read it and I said, I'm going to read this again. And it was about even just letting go of the past and releasing a thing. Now, how many of you have ever heard this statement? Hurt people hurt people. How many of you have ever heard that? What do you think about that? You know, oftentimes we hear it, but do we really think about it? Because again, with that statement, oftentimes the way that we look at other people is through our own hurts, is through our own disappointments. It's through things even like envy, and it could be even jealousies. For what reason? Because we're not living the life that we desire to live.
Yeah,
and what makes us feel better oftentimes is to try to find fault with another person, is to try to find something wrong with somebody else. That's what we mean when we say we oftentimes look at people the way that we view ourselves. So that's a question for all of us. How do I view myself?
Right.
How do I look at myself? What do I think about me? Do I love me? Do I accept me? Do I see the good in me? Being a created being, being one that bears his qualities. How do you perceive yourself?
It's good. And when I think about that story, I think about it literally talks about looking in the mirror, right? So here's something good to do. If you see someone, or you see someone that maybe you admire, maybe you don't, whatever it is, but if you see someone and you begin to immediately think a certain thing about them, that's the time to look in the mirror.
It is. That's good.
Yeah. And see, the very thing that Tonya and I was talking about is, hey, I'm guilty. I've been there.
Yes, absolutely.
I've been there. I've judged people. I didn't know what was happening with them, but I judged them. And I did not know what was going on. And when I found out later, I changed my decision about what I thought about them.
I can remember being at a convention, one of our conventions that we had with the company that we're a part of, Total Life Changes. And I remember being there, and this is one of the things that I even shared as to that point right there of how I've grown. Because see, sometimes we wonder, okay, let me just tell you what it is that I shared for me. Let's talk about increase. Let's talk about money that's made, having a business, and you're in a position and you're like, I do need more, but you can look and you can see what other people are doing with their money. And they're purchasing some things, they're getting some things, they're doing some things with their money. And so I can remember for myself even saying like, well, if I had that, I wouldn't do that. I would do this instead. That's just a waste. Why would you do something like that? That's just a waste of money. If I was in that position, this is what I would do. Well, there has been some increase in our lives, and we thank God for it. And as a result of it, we're having to do some things a little bit different. Why? Because we're in a different income bracket. We've experienced some things differently. And so when you get wise counsel as to what to do, see, this is one thing that we would hear, a quote that we would hear even from our brother and sister-in-law, where it would say, it's not about how much you make, but how much you keep. But if you don't know what steps to go through in order to keep it, you may not know what to do with it. And so I realized, it came to me, it's like I passed judgment on people, and it wasn't an area in which I was flowing in. I don't know why they made that decision. I don't know why they made that purchase. It's not for me to know necessarily, but they may know exactly what it is that they're doing. I pray that they do know exactly what it is that they're doing. And you're gonna find that as you step into different areas in your life, as you may be experiencing some increase of your own, you're gonna make different decisions. You may make a purchase that somebody may not understand, because it protects what it is that God has given unto you. And that is something that I confess. I was like, man, I passed judgment on people not knowing, unaware, until I stepped into it myself.
Awesome. So listen, we just got like 1 or 2 minutes left.
Okay.
So the name of that story is The Dirty Laundry, right? And it ends with, so don't be too quick to judge others, especially if your perspective of life is clouded by anger, jealousy, negativity, or unfulfilled desires. Yes. So we just want to leave you with that. Now, this is episode 1 of Stories That Matter. We appreciate you spending some time with us. And as a free gift to you, we want you to go and download our 11 steps to success. Now, if someone would type this for us, it's theupgradersgiveaway.com. So it's theupgradersgiveaway.com. Go to that site, download the 11 steps to success. It's free to you. We want you to get what we have. And as we learn, we're going to continue to teach others, and we're going to learn from others as well. So we hope that you've enjoyed episode 1, series 1 of Stories That Matter. We're going to be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to share another powerful story with you. Now, share this Facebook Live. Share it with people who you want to grow, because see, it's all about growth. If any of us are dealing with anger, jealousy, unfulfilled desires.
Yes,
That's big.
it's
We
big.
can talk another 30 minutes about that, but we're not.
Yeah. Look, but maybe
All
we
right.
can come back. Should we come back later on today? Maybe just a little bit. I'm like,
Or wait
I
until the
don't
next
understand.
story.
But this story.
All right. So yeah, thanks for spending some time with us. And again, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. But share this live.
Try not to be long.
Yeah, share the live because people need to see, you know, what's been hindering my success. It could be jealousy, could be anger,
Forgiveness.
clogging up how you see
Fear.
people. All right. So this is the Upgraders. We may not know you,
But we know what's in you.
all right. See you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for your time.